What's up, everybody? It's the homie Truth Teller, the Street Reporter, and today we're going to touch on a topic that I haven't done before. This is kind of like a what happened topic, because a lot of people are always asking me about this, even though the situation is a little different. Normally, I kind of break down situations that led to someone's death. Today, I'm going to break down a situation that led to someone's incarceration, because a lot of people always ask me about King Von and where did he come from? What case did he beat? A lot of people heard he beat a murder case. Is it a rumor? Is it this? So we're going to kind of take down King Von case to the board, kind of give you some explanation of what happened, kind of give you a conclusion, background, because the King Von story is pretty crazy. It might explain a little bit of how his attitude and his temperament is, if you really think about it. So let's understand. Today we're going to go King Von. I'm not really going to break down who he is because we already know. I done did that already, but we're going to go King Von. He's a member of the BDs. He represents O-Block. I think for a while he was representing Killer Ward. I think he stayed in the Wild Hundreds too. So I think this guy been all over the city. We all know that he eventually became a rapper. Okay, he's affiliated with famous rappers like Dirk, Keith, and he has a rep of being a shooter. And he ended up getting famous later in his life. He does a lot of diss songs, especially dissing the ops like GDs and shit like that. So that was a quick background. And really have to give you that because I'm pretty sure we already know about that. We're going to kind of jump into what happened because that's the thing that kind of threw people off, because there's a lot of people feel like Buddy beat the case that he did. You know, a lot of people in the city feel like Buddy did that shit. They know he did this shit and he called a blessing. And then instead of coming home taking that blessing, he took that blessing, came home and kept that tough guy attitude, you know. A lot of people feel like he ended up losing his life because he wasn't able to turn down the tough guy. I think it's a crazy situation, you know. We're not going to put any dirt on that young man's name because we all make bad decisions. Sometimes our decisions doesn't lead to our demise, but, you know, we all done made some wild-ass decisions that could have cost us our life. So we're not going to just throw it on them like that. But the police is claiming, I believe, May 29th of 2014, okay? The police is saying that it was a party, okay? It was a party on the 5700 block, I believe, of South LaSalle. Or something like that. You know how they spell that shit. It's early in the morning, y'all. Please help me with my spelling. But I read the police reports. I listened to a lot of police scanners. I talked to a lot of people close to this situation. I read police newspapers. I read interviews. I listened to King Von interviews. I feel like I got a small pulse on this, okay? The police is claiming that in 2009 to May in 2014, they're claiming May 29th, my bad. They're claiming May 29th, 2014, King Von and his friend, okay? King Von and friend, okay? They're claiming King Von and friend was at a party on the 5700 block of South LaSalle. They're kicking it, having fun, when they spotted a rival at the party, okay? That's what the police is claiming. They spotted a rival. So what did they do? What all Chirac motherfuckers always do, if this what they did, because this what the police alleged. You got to remember, everybody innocent until proven guilty. This guy ended up beating his case. So we're going to just say what the police allege. But the police is alleging this dude left the party when they spotted a rival, because that's what Chirac niggas do. They keep that shit on the low. They see, they'll bail and come back and blink that bitch up. And that's what the police is claiming happened. They're claiming that King Von and his friend spotted a rival at this party. They left and came back. Okay? They spotted him at this party. They left, then came back. They seen that guy on the porch with two other people. Okay? So two other people and the op. Okay? Which makes three people. Okay? Police is claiming that King Von and his homie left. They came back. King Von was in the bushes or something that the police is claiming. He came out of a gangway, a cut, hiding behind the bushes. Something like that is what the police is claiming. Some crazy shit. I know y'all like, wow, this shit is crazy as hell, but that's what the police is claiming. He hid in the cut, he jumped out, surprised them, ambushed them. Blah, 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 blah. Blick it down. Blick it down. The guy who King Von seen in a party ended up losing his life. He was killed. The two people who was with him were both wounded. They survived. Only one person ended up losing their lives, okay? I believe King Von was 19 when this happened, if I'm not mistaken. I believe he was 19 years old. This case was almost closed fast because the other guy who was with King Von was caught, okay? He was caught, okay? You feel me? The co-defendant, he was caught, okay? Like a week later, a couple weeks later, King Von ended up getting captured, okay? King Von ended up getting caught. Now, it's rumors on the street that, since this dude got caught first, King Von didn't get caught. This guy might have told on King Von, okay? His co-defendant might have told on King Von. This where it gets a little fishy at. This is where it throws me out at. This is where my whole brain get fucked up at when I think about this shit here. Before they went to trial, because both of these guys went to trial, they didn't take no deals. Both of these guys went to trial. The first guy, I believe, ended up working out a deal, and then he ended up getting in trouble, because I'm going to tell you what happened. The first guy who was with King Von and his co-defendant ended up telling the police on King Von. He ended up telling, okay? He ended up breaking in a deal where he told on King Von, and he's going to tell on him on the stand, too. So when they go on the stand, he's going to tell. When it comes to the trial time and all that shit, this guy ended up changing his mind, and he don't tell. Okay? But he already told in the beginning. Now he don't tell. He ended up getting convicted. Okay? He ended up getting convicted. He gets 28 years. Okay? And then they give him an extra 12 years for not testifying against King Von, for bringing his statement back and holding it back and changing his mind. So they gave him 28 years for the murder, 12 years for taking them statements back on King Von. Crazy, I know. King Von ended up keeping his mouth closed, don't tell the police anything, doesn't cooperate, goes along with the murder case. Eventually, the guy doesn't want to testify, and only people pointing King Von out were like dude friends or like ops or, people who wasn't real credible. King Von ended up beating that case. Okay? He ended up beating the case, and the police alleged that he was the shooter. So they're claiming basically the shooter beat the case, and the guy who was with him ended up getting 28 years plus 12 for not cooperating. Okay? Ain't that some crazy shit? When I looked into that shit, I said, damn, that's some wild ass shit. So a lot of people feel like King Von did that shit. A lot of people feel like they know he did that shit, but he caught that second chance. And he ended up getting famous with Lil Durk, get to Atlanta, and get involved in the shooting with Lil Durk, okay? So that's why they couldn't be together. Then next thing you know, the fight with Quando Rondo, which led to his death, But if you look at the shit, it's crazy because when you look at King Von's case that he beat, it looks like it was over with for that young man. That young man looked like he was on his way to getting, goddammit, 100 years, but somehow shit turned around and he ended up beating this case, He was pinpointed out, he was pointed out in the lineup, he had witness statements against him. He had witness statements, and somehow he still beat it. That's crazy, so that's it. A lot of people wanted to know exactly what happened with King Von and what case did he beat before he ended up getting famous. This is exactly what happened. In my opinion, if you ask me, he might have called it a blessing. I'm not saying he was there. That man beat his case, so he ended up beating it, which means I guess he's innocent. So we're going to have to roll with that. If the police call you guilty and they send your ass to 50 years in jail, then we got to accept when you're innocent. So maybe that young man didn't do that. But this is what happened to him. The streets feel like, King Von was involved in some of this shit. So he should have took his second chance and did some more positive with it. Even though he did do positive shit, like soon he got his money. I'm gonna tell you something. Soon King Von got that money and got that big money. He took that shit to the hood. He broke that shit down with all his homeboys, people who mattered, people who looked out for him, people who gave him t-shirts, people who fed him, people who let him sleep in his house, all kind of shit like that when he was fucked up. When he got famous, he didn't forget about this shit. When he got famous, he didn't say, hold up, I gotta take care of myself, I gotta do what I gotta do, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. He didn't give a fuck about any bills he had. He didn't give a fuck about his future. He didn't give a fuck about nothing. All he gave a fuck about was going to that block and making sure everybody feel like he felt. When Lil Durk got rich and got famous, he didn't give you niggas shit. When Lil Durk got rich and famous, Lil Durk said, man, I gotta save my money until I get straight, man, and goddamn it, take care of my family and my kids, then I'll come back for you niggas. King Von didn't give a fuck about none of that. All he gave a fuck about was the niggas who was with him when he was fucked up. Soon he got on, he broke the bread down. So, I'm gonna say the guy had a good energy, he had a great persona. I'm not gonna lie though, I just wish he would have knew how to cut the tough guy off sometimes, in my opinion. It's the homie Truth Teller, the street reporter.